Following on from Singapore Sling's win in the Hong Kong Classic Cup last weekend, we've got another blockbuster meeting at Sha Tin this weekend with the City Hong Kong Gold Cup and the Queen Silver Jubilee Cup, our two features, both at Group 1 level. Here's what's coming up on today's edition of HK Direct. And Matthew Chadwick is our special guest in the studio to tell us about his old buddy Pakistan star, who takes on Hong Kong Cup winner Time Warp, as well as the defending champion Werther in the Hong Kong Gold Cup this Sunday. Matthew, welcome to the show. Great to have you in here. It's been a long time since you've ridden Pakistan Star at the races. It's been a long time since he's been at the races. How are you feeling ahead of the weekend?
Well, I'm very excited to be back on him, to have the opportunity. So I'm just really looking forward to getting out there and hopefully taking the cup back home.
It's a race you've won before too, back in 2011 on California memory. And here's the lineup for this year's renewal of the race. Field of 9 to line up for the $10 million Hong Kong Gold Cup over 2,000 metres. And Time Warp back up to this trip. The winner of the Hong Kong Cup 2 starts ago. Werther's the defending champion, one of 3 runners in the race for John Moore, who's won this on 12 occasions. Pakistan Star will jump from gate 1 with Matthew on board. Seasons Bloom will be ridden by Joe Moreira. The only other time he raced over 2,000 metres, he finished 4th in the Derby. Eagle Way's a dual Group 3 winner in Hong Kong. Christophe Soumillon flies in to ride Gold Mount, and Helene Charisma's yet to win from 14 starts here in Hong Kong. So let's go back to the beginning here. Matthew, this is a race I'm sure you've seen on plenty of occasions before. It's a race that over 468,000 people have watched on YouTube. This is his debut win, Pakistan Star, in a Griffin race. First of all, was he slow to begin there, or was he just outpaced early over 1,200?
Well, I always felt he was just being outpaced, and he was just very green. He definitely got detached a long way out of the ground. But he always showed early on that his best attribute was his finishing last 600. He's
out of camera shot at this stage of the race. Were you worried?
No. He was just taking it all in. As I said, they were going quite hard early on, so I knew they would have to pull the brakes on at some point. And just coming back here, running the 600, 500, I latched on basically. So I knew if he had shown how he progressed in his trials leading up to this first race, that it would have a shot to catch him.
OK, so let's just have a look. You're about to make your move out wide at this stage of the race. What was about to come, though? That acceleration that he showed. Were you expecting that?
I was expecting him to definitely give me a good kick. As I said, in his lead-ups to the trials, I was especially happy with his last one because he travelled really well and he showed he had a turn of foot. So, as I said, in this particular race, there weren't too many outstanding Griffins, so he definitely had his chance.
All the same, though, even though it was a weak field, horses don't win like that very often.
No, the way he won and the lengths he picked up on them was definitely, as I said, his best attributes. So it was definitely showing what was to come in future.
Did he surprise you how quickly he got to a level where he was the runner-up in the Derby and then the runner-up in an open age international Group 1, the Audemars Piguet QE2?
Yes and no. I mean, a lot of education, when I was taken off or replaced, he was still learning a lot. He was still in that phase where he had to try pick up a lot of education within such a short period of time going into the Derby. So it was, as I said again, it's very immature and he probably needed a bit longer time, which probably showed. But the way he ran, I never thought he couldn't do it. The way he ran in the Derby, he was able to sit back and relax eventually and show his best attribute, which was the last 600, and almost pick him up. If he was able to settle a bit earlier in the race, who knows? He might have even picked off Rapid Dragon.
Let's talk about his quirks, because they're well documented. The day that he stopped in the Premier Plate, you weren't riding him, you weren't riding in the race. What was going through your mind, though, sitting there watching it on TV?
Yes, I think I might have been suspended or I was out injured, but I remember watching it very clearly. I was at home in front of my TV, and coming towards the area where he was about to stop, you could see he wasn't concentrating, he wasn't so happy there because he was looking around, he was starting to get his head up. I knew something was amiss, and I could tell he was gonna. It was a 90% chance he was gonna stop. So I wasn't too surprised when he put the heels in.
Had he ever done that with you in track work or any other time?
Not with me. I know the first day when he came to the stable, he was a bit reluctant to get on the track. But ever since, small track, big track, fast gallops, he's never had any problem. We always tried to help educate him with a partner, follow something. So it was never seriously mentally issued there.
Let's have a look then. He has been back to the trials, forced to go back to the trials to earn his ticket to come back to the races. You didn't ride him in this trial, but no doubt you would have seen it. Here he is, leading. You've also got Werther alongside of him, and just behind those is Seasons Bloom. From this trial and from your work with him in his track work more recently, how's he changed from the horse you rode to win on debut to now?
Oh, he's definitely a different horse. The last couple of mornings I've ridden him, and he feels like a machine now. He's definitely grown in stature. You can tell him just the way he carries himself. You can see he's just gone through his paces nicely. And what I was particularly happy about this trial was that he was able to relax quite early on in the trial. So that's definitely going to help over the 2,000 meters. And as I said, back in the Derby when he just got on the chewy a little bit early, that it probably didn't help his efforts the last part, but he still ratted home. So he's progressing.
There are two of your main rivals on Sunday, Werther and Seasons Bloom. He's beaten them there quite convincingly under trial conditions. First up, over 2,000 metres. Do you think he can beat them under race conditions?
I hope so. It's always a question mark, especially in this company. But as I say, he's progressed, he's improved every single bit of his work in the morning, and he seems to be past any mental issues that he might have had. So I know the stable's happy, the connections are happy, so I'm happy with what I've seen so far. So hopefully we can get a nice run, and his ability can do the rest.
Looking at your own career, of course, you're champion apprentice going back about a decade. You had that wonderful association with California Memory. The last few years, though, that time with Pakistan Star, but also a number of injuries. Has it been an up and down last few years for yourself?
Yes, very up and down. Probably from my stand, probably more down than up. But I'm happy with how the season's gone so far. It's very competitive here. I feel within myself, I feel a lot healthier, a lot fitter. So I'm just waiting for the right chances. So hopefully after this weekend, things might kick around. Yeah,
so how important would it be to win a Group 1 on Pakistan Star for you and your career and your future association with this horse?
Well, hopefully, as I said before, the best way to stay on him is probably to win on him. So it will give them something to think about and proper reason to keep me on. So if I can get the job done this weekend, hopefully it'll just have a domino effect on a few other rides and build up some confidence within and kick on and ride some more winners.
And right through your career, from your apprentice days, you've been with Tony Cruz, of course, a champion jockey, champion trainer here in Hong Kong. What is it like riding for Tony?
It's good. He teaches you a lot. He's hard on you. He's a tough master, but he definitely it's all for the right reasons, and he wants us to be the best we can. So he's put me where I am today. So unfortunately, I've been out of the last few seasons, so a few other riders have been able to sneak in and pinch some rides and stay on them. So hopefully I can ride a couple more winners for him. Hopefully a Group 1 will help.
Let's hope one of those winners is Pakistan Star on Sunday. Matthew, thank you for your time. Just before we wrap things up on the show today, it's going to be a super Sunday of racing this weekend. 11 races on the card. The City Hong Kong Gold Cup, the race we've been discussing with Pakistan Star, is race 8 at 4:05. And that will be followed as well by the other Group 1 on the card, the Queen's Silver Jubilee Cup, which is also a cracking contest. That's due at 4:40. Trackside live coverage starts at 12 o'clock. For the full preview of the meeting, go to the website hkjc.com and find the links there for Racing to Win. You can also follow the lead-up, the day itself and the aftermath on Twitter at HKJC_racing. Matthew, thanks for coming into the studio. Best of luck for Sunday. Let's hope we're seeing you in the winner's circle with Pakistan Star.
Thank you.
Thanks to Matthew Chadwick, our special guest on the show today. We look forward to your company at the races on Sunday, and hopefully you can join us as well next Thursday on HK Direct. We've got an exclusive interview with the Durban Demon, Douglas White, with Andrew Lejeune. But until then, it's goodbye.